Which TV series had the best final episode? Avatar: The Last Airbender. Whole series was awesome and final episode to the last scene was perfect way to end it. Blackadder: the final scene when they go over the top in World War I. So wonderfully shot and so poignant. It shows the whole stupidity of war, yet it still goes on. I still think Breaking Bad has one of the best finales of any show I've seen. The music was absolutely perfect, the wrapping up of all the storylines and the way they all beautifully converged in the final 3 episodes were incredible. The whole time I was terrified they were going to screw it up. Or cheap out and not follow through with spoiler #s killing Walt. Futurama. Wanna go round again? You came, that's what she said. Parks and Rec. I grew really attached to those characters. It was lovely to see that they all went on to live long happy lives. The Office, US, hate to see it end, but I love how it did. Every character got their story wrapped up. Michael Scott came back for one last that's what she said. It was perfect. Scrubs. The real finale. Book of Love. 6 Feet Under. The regular show. It showed them getting old and living life, looking back at themselves when older with kids and seeing their crazy little world repeat for the next generation. Went full circle and was pretty good. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. MASH. / is your friend here. Check my formatting. MASH tells Reddit not to use the next character for formatting, just display it. Also, you're damned right. MASH finale. Tears were had, damn it. Thank you, Eat Sass. Dinosaurs. It's hard to imagine a family show ending on one of the most darkest moments in TV history. Never had to say holy freaking shit after the end of a family show. For anyone wondering, a plastic fruit company built their factory on a beetle habitat and killed them all. The beetles were eating and controlling the growth of a particular vine. Without the beetles, the vine started growing out of control. The father was in charge of fixing the problem, and they sprayed the planet with something to kill the vines. But instead, it killed all plant life on the planet. They decide they need rain, and bomb a bunch of volcanoes hoping the clouds will make it rain and restart the plant's growth cycles. Instead, the smoke blocks out of the sun, and they go into an ice age. The family is seen at the end of the episode huddled around a fire while the camera zooms outside to show their house being buried in snow. The family will starve, or freeze, to death. 30 Rock. It didn't overstay its welcome, never took itself seriously, and the last scene was the perfect punchline to a series' long-running joke. I recommend it to anyone. Band of Brothers. Gravity Falls. I have never seen a finale to a show so perfect. Call me basic, but I really liked Friends. Not so much the Ross/Rachel thing, but at the end they decide to go to coffee and Chandler jokes, where should we go? I thought it was a nice subtle ending that stayed true to the series. The last scene in Friends was so heavy because you could feel the actors actually saying goodbye to each other and being emotional about it. The apartment being empty was exactly how I felt. I felt like I was moving from my childhood home. It was a very strange feeling. Star Trek: The Next Generation. It wasn't just a perfect episode to end a series with. It built off the first episode and added new and lasting meaning to the entire series. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Definitely not Dexter, that's for sure. Burn Notice. My name is Michael Weston and I used to be a spy, was the last line, and it was always the first line of every show. It was perfectly engineered. Loved that show. It's currently on Netflix. house. Community. Say what you want about the Yahoo season, but the show fricking winged it for the last 3 or so episodes, culminating in one of the show's best. Everything got tied up nicely, all the characters, sans Troy and Pierce, got a fitting send-off, and the Jeff/Annie stuff got resolved. It works as a finale but also leaves it open for hashtag and a movie. I really liked the end of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Alright, and let's have just about every character from the show ever, including a bunch of random soldiers from armies that were just fighting each other, square up against the bad guy who has basically become blonde Sephiroth. Now let's have the main character just sorta bare knuckle beat the shit out of him. Prison rules. Edit. Also, the bloopers are really good too. Justified. Can I say Cowboy Bebop? I'm gonna say Cowboy Bebop, and not just because I'm listening to Cowboy Bebop lo-fi right now. Many onions were cut during the finale. New Heart. The Sopra, cut to black. The Shield. Just rips your heart out. Freaks and Geeks. Even though it wasn't meant to be the last episode ever, I think it ended pretty great for a show that was only given 1 season. Also, the storyline with Daniel playing Dungeons and Dragons with the Geeks is one of my favorite parts of a TV show ever. Instead of shitting on them for a hobby they clearly enjoy, he asks if he could join. Monk. I think Monk is a great example of a show having a healthy run and ending strong without overstaying its welcome. Not How I Met Your Mother. I dunno, after watching the whole series again, they foreshadowed it pretty well. Hell, the song that plays in the background when we first meet the mother is The Funeral by Band of Horses. It taught 2 important lessons. You will grow apart from some people as you grow a family, but that doesn't mean they don't love you or want to be there. Also, you may have found your one and only, but that doesn't mean there can't be another one. The mother was the one for Ted, but he was her the next one after Max. He grows with her and accepts he can love again while reflecting all series long on whom because she taught him that. Life on Mars, UK? Mad Men. Futurama had several. Hannibal had a good last episode, but the last episode of season 2 was even better. The Cheers finale was outstanding. Frasier 2. Friday Night Lights, Clear Eyes Full Heart, so we'll deal with that later. Person of interest for me, but I'm biased since it's my favorite show of all time. True Detective Season 1. Babylon 5, Sleeping in Light was pretty frickin' good. STG, all good things. Q, you just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? The trial never ends. We wanted to see if you had the ability to expand your mind and your horizons. And for one brief moment, you did. Captain Picard, when I realized the paradox. Q, exactly. For that one fraction of a second, you were open to options you had never considered. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebulae, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence. The Leftovers. My name is Earl. Wait, no it didn't. I've heard that in an AMA interview with the creator, or something, he said that how it was supposed to end was with Earl having something on his list that he just couldn't resolve. But then he meets someone with their own list, and they tell Earl that they got the idea from someone else and that a lot of people have their own lists. Earl then realizes that he inspired a lot of people to do good things. So he figures his karma is clean, so he rips up the list and goes his way. Supernatural at the end of S5. I refuse to acknowledge anything past that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was fantastic. 2.5 Men, in the sense that I was so glad when it finally ended. Farscape, the Peacekeeper Wars. They wanted a wormhole weapon, and they got it. Doing so brought peace across the universe. The Young Ones. They all just drove off a cliff and died. Ha ha. House MD. The best friendship I've seen on television, House and Wilson, and the way they went out was just perfect. Eastbound and Down. La Flama frickin' Blanca.